All right, I have 6:30, so we will go ahead. I will call the meeting to order with a roll call, please.
Isaac Dornfeld,
Here.
Marge Jorgensen,
Here.
John Kraus,
Here.
Mary Coon,
Here.
Maria Mason,
Here.
Lisa Hanson,
Here.
Chad Cooley,
Here.
Gary Steelman,
Here.
John Hyder.
Here.
All right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have minutes from the regular meeting, April 11th, special meeting, April 18.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from regular meeting on April 11th and special meeting on April 18th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right. Thank you for all of you that have come tonight. A couple visitors in the field and staff and admin and everybody that is watching at home on our YouTube channel. So thank you for joining us tonight. On to public comment. We do have one person signed up for a public comment. I'll go ahead and read the statement, and then we'll ask the person to come up. In recognition of the privacy rights of individuals and employees of the district, the Board of Education prohibits any public comment on individual employees or constituents of the district and on matters in which an employee or constituent may be identified or inferred from the comments. The Board of Education will generally not discuss or take action on non-agenda items brought by the public at that meeting. So with that, I will ask Linda Yudz to please come up. And if you could just let us know what you're going to talk about, and it's all yours.
I'm going to talk about the athletic lights up at the baseball diamond. A group of baseball people came to the city to ask to partner with the school district to put in lights on the varsity baseball field. Questions for you. Has this group of baseball people come and asked this school board to put in these lights? Why hasn't there been fundraisers started for these lights? These fields have been there for a while. These lights are on school property and will be controlled by the school district. Why hasn't the school board put this project on your budget to get it done if there is a need? With close to $5 million in ESSER funds, why couldn't that money be used to purchase these lights? The city received only $1.7 million in ARPA funds. They need that city for projects to maintain 22 city parks and roads. This school board loves to spend money, and I hear yes on everything proposed. So, say yes and purchase your own varsity lights. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Linda. Appreciate the comments. All right, we'll move on to announcements.
The board may recess into closed session per Wisconsin statute 19.85, paren 1, paren C, concerning employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss specific employees and employee groups and to discuss negotiation strategy, and pursuant to 19.85, paren 1, paren C, paren F, and paren G, for the purpose of discussing a pending employee complaint and the performance and contract of an individual employee. The board will reconvene into open session for the possible transaction of business and adjournment.
All right, thank you, John. With that, we'll move on to the agenda. If there's no corrections for the agenda, I'll look for an adoption.
I move for adoption.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, with that, we will move on to 9.1, open enrollment requests.
Good evening. You should all have in your packet a breakdown of the open enrollment applications for the 22-23 school year. As part of the board's process and requirement with the state, the board needs to approve the applications both in and out. We had the same number of applications in this year as we did last year, which would be 39. The Beaver Dam Unified School District received 43 applications for 39 students to transfer out, which is compared to 45 applications for 39 students the previous year. Based on the breakdown and the space availability that was identified by the district previously this year, recommending the approval for 35 of the applications for students to open enroll into our district. Denial is recommended for 3 applications for students into the district due to special education space limitations. Also, denial is recommended for 1 application for a student to open enroll into the district due to regular education space limitations. And the approval is recommended for the 43 applications from the 39 students applying to transfer out of the district.
Any questions on the open enrollment information presented? And if not, I would look for a motion.
I just have one question. Where is the special education space limitations?
So previously, based on staffing, special education need, the board had identified the limitations. So really in most areas, and although we look at those on a case-by-case basis, based on the current special education students we have in district and the challenges with staffing, we couldn't provide service for that student.
Okay, but is it in one particular building more than another?
Most grades throughout the district.
Oh,
And
okay.
buildings, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you need 4 separate motions for this, or can we?
Just
wrap it
one
all
to
in one?
approve the open enrollment applications as presented. I'll
Also-
cover both in and out.
Okay, I also move to approve the open enrollment applications as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the open enrollment request as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right. Return to Learn Plan update.
All right. Hello again. So as we have in the past, we have goals for our conversation, just giving an update on community metrics, any specific realities associated with our district and other area districts, and provide an opportunity for questions, comments, and discussion. So monitoring COVID activity in our district boundary, we'll see that we've seen a very slight, we'll call it uptick, which kind of aligns with what has been seen in the area and throughout the state. It's important to note that the county activity level designation is still low. So that's identified by a green color if somebody looks it up from the Wisconsin DHS website. And hospitalization has had no significant change. That also includes ICU patients. And again, this is the district boundary report itself. Confirmed and probable cases, case activity in Dodge County, you see on the far right. The last date that's referenced is 5/1, but this was pulled off of there today, so there's some tally marks beyond that that get us to 5/9. And we see that the case count is again low compared to some things that we saw during the winter. Here is our COVID activity, month-by-month breakdown for September through April. So in those months, abbreviated months with an asterisk, it shows the average amount of staff and students by week and the percent positive. For May 2nd, we had 1 staff, 4 students. Percent positive was 0.13%. And May 9th, 5 staff, 4 students. Percent positive, 0.24%. Apologize, something must have happened with the formatting there. One of the things that was brought up last time when we spoke was had to do with virtual participation. So this is a breakdown of full-time BDUSD virtual students as of this past Friday. So at the elementary level, we had 1 student. Of that student, that student was not participating because of COVID reasons. The middle school, 2 students. None of those students were participating because of COVID-related reason. And at the high school, 12 students, 3 for COVID-related reasons. So 0.5% of full-time students are online. 20% of the full-time online students, so 20% of that, are online for COVID-related reasons, so 80% are online for non-COVID-related reasons. So the plan would be to keep the options the same for 22-23. We made an investment in that JEDI opportunity at the elementary level. The other things that we have in place provide some strategic flexibility for other things.
Gear Up High School Student Panel member, core values student representative, obviously a student representative on the Board of Education, 3 years of volleyball, year of tennis, 4 years basketball, 2 years baseball manager, student council, member of HOSA, future health occupations, link crew, National Honor Society, costume crew, fall musical, and helps out with the Little Hoopsters basketball. Now, you think about all of us and what we do in any given day or week or month, and that's a mouthful. So, one of the things that it talks about as emerging leader from the chamber is that you bring back to your community what you've learned, and I would say that Sadie's brought a lot back to the community, not only just the Beaver Dam High School, the Beaver Dam Unified School District, but also our community as a whole. So with that, I wanted to absolutely thank you. Congratulations on your accomplishments. And we wish you the utmost success at, I believe, UW-Madison and the upcoming, and all your upcoming future endeavors. So on behalf of the board, thank you very much.
I just want to add to Chad's comments. I have the newspaper article right here in case you need a copy. Besides all the things she's involved in school, it says here that Sadie currently works at Clearview Nursing Home, and she began in food service and completed her CNA certification and then moved into that position. In the past summer, she worked 2 jobs, at Clearview and at Taher Food Service at Jefferson School. That's great. Get terrific opportunities all the way through. And you earn a little money besides. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Sadie.
With all that, do you find time to sleep here and there?
Actually, I prioritize my sleep a lot. I take sleep very seriously. So.
Good. Well, again, congratulations, and thank you very much for joining us this year. We'll move on to 10.2 Operations Committee.
The Operations Committee met on April 25th. Committee members present were Maria Mason, Gary Spielman, Joanne Tyjeski, and myself. Mr. DeStefano, the superintendent, presented the 2 options for the 2023-2024 school year calendar that had been discussed with the Teaching and Learning Committee, as well as a 3rd option that had been generated following feedback from the committee on April 18th. With the first option, students would begin on September 1st, 2023, and the last day for students would be May 31st, 2024. The first day of class would be Friday, which could pose potential concerns, but also provide some transition opportunities. The second option has students beginning on September 5th, 2023, the day after the holiday, and the last day for students would be May 31st, 2024. The third option is similar to option 2. However, the in-service days were adjusted to allow for an in-service day in February. Both options include 171 student contact days, 14 in-service days, and 1 collaboration days. The calendars will be presented to the board at the May regular board meeting, so we'll hear about it later today. Dr. White, Director of Human Resources, presented proposed revisions to the employee handbooks and appendices. The employee handbook included the addition of strategic plan language, an equity statement, and the hands-free cell phone policy. Updates to Appendix A, Certified Staff Handbook, includes the removal of paid-up life insurance language, school bill schedules, and gold ticket redemption for personal days, and the addition of the chemical hygiene officer stipend and language for department leaders. Updates to Appendix B, Support Staff Handbook, include tutor, teacher, assistant classification separation, and removal of the unused pay scales. The layoff language that was adopted last year will be updated in Appendix C. Administrative support supervisors and coordinators handbook to match certified and support staff employee groups. Contact information and bell schedules will also be updated in Appendix D. Substitute staff along with the updated board policies. And our next committee meeting is not until June 27th.
All right, any questions for Marge? If not, we will move on to teaching and learning.
Teaching and Learning met on April 18th. The committee members present were Bev Beal Lake, Mary Coons, John Kraus Jr., and myself. Mr. Meyer, the Director of Teaching and Learning, reported that Board Policy 5722, which is school-sponsored publications and productions, is suggested for review by the district's Board Policy Service, Neola. Technology-based media has certainly evolved since the last revision, prompting the need for review. He shared the process and development plan for reviewing the policy, which will include a core development team to review the suggested language and options from Neola and obtain feedback from other teams of stakeholders. He reviewed the actions and timelines with the goal that the policy will be presented to the board for the first reading in August and final reading and adoption in September. Mr. Meyer then presented the options for the calendar, which Marge just reviewed. And then Mr. Meyer also reported that during this school year, the district has engaged in conversations with local key partners to collaborate on supporting the school district and local employers. As a result, steps are being taken to move forward to connect the educational experience with local employers. He reviewed how this is and will be incorporated into the curriculum and the academic and career planning. Course offerings and pathways will continue to be evaluated to lead to educational and employment opportunities for students, and workplace experiences for students will continue to be developed. Mr. Meyer also provided an update on the middle school schedule. The schedule for the 2022-2023 school year has been developed and adjusted in response to previous scheduling concerns, social and emotional learning concerns, academic performance initiatives, and the benefits associated with elective courses. He reviewed a summary of the schedule, course offerings, and benefits. In addition, we also heard from Mr. Loss, from Principal Loss, on the middle school schedule. Mr. Kraus, Prairie View Elementary Principal, presented an orchestra proposal to offer orchestra as a club for interested fourth grade students. It would be a six-week session offered at each elementary school and held during the day, possibly at recess. He reviewed the current instructional model, provided historical data, current enrollment and retention data, and survey information from area school districts. The committee was supportive of moving forward with the club structure. Our next committee meeting is scheduled for June 20th at 5:30.
And Lisa, I think you have,
Yep, so based on that, we are looking today for approval of our 2023-2024 school calendar. And we are going with option 3, which was the modification to option 2, which included that additional in-service day in February for our staff members. This option still includes 171 student contact days, 14 in-service days, and 1 collaboration day.
all right, so I'll take that as a motion.
So moved.
And I need a
Second.
second. So we have a motion and a second to approve the 23-24 school year calendar as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right. We have a calendar. All right, 10.4, opportunity for board members to share any board engagement that they were part of this past month.
I had the opportunity to listen in on the, and participate in both the staff and the parent advisory teams, and I don't usually remember to say that I do that because it's a couple days after the board meeting, and it's a long time to remember until the next month. So it's really an honor to be on there, and I just really want to acknowledge all the parents that take time out. You can see they're calling in from work, from their car sometimes, from anywhere they are to try to get to those meetings, and their advice and their input is really valued, as well as the staff's. So I really appreciate being part of those meetings, and I would encourage you, if you have an opportunity, to do so. It's good to get to know everybody better and hear what they have to say.
I too sat in on that staff advisory meeting, and I also attended the Beaver Dam FFA banquet. So they had about 135 students, parents, and guests at the banquet. Spaghetti dinner before. Really good. Really good program. There's going to be 4 students getting their state farmer degrees, and then 1 student is a state finalist in diversified crop production. So
Awesome. Anybody else?
We went to the Grand March and city looked very nice, I have to say, but
Anything else? All right. I again thank the board for, taking time and being involved as much as possible in our school district, so thank you for that. With that, we'll move on to recognitions. I have a couple here I'd like to share out. Obviously, last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, National Teacher Day in the middle there. And so I wanted to start out by just saying that we do appreciate teachers. Students appreciate you. Parents appreciate you. The community appreciates you. Your colleagues appreciate you. And obviously, on behalf of the board, we appreciate you. And it's almost to the point, we don't really necessarily want to look at a week or a day, right, to appreciate teachers. It's something that we do every single day. And so I personally thank all the teachers for all that they do every single day. And then with that, also just staff appreciation altogether. So we're closing up on another year. We have a number of staff that have finished milestone years with our district, including 9 10-year, 17 15-year, 18 20-year, 2 25-year, and 5 30-year years of service appreciation that will be shared out between now and the end of the year. So again, with all staff, recognize the dedication and commitment that all staff, including those with milestone years of service, their dedication and commitment to the Beaver Dam Unified School District. Also, just like to recognize the 3 incumbent board members for a successful re-election. That would be Maria and Mary and myself. And then also recognize and welcome Isaac Dornfeld for his successful election. We appreciate your interest in representing the district and look forward to obviously working with you throughout the next 3 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, I will open it up to other recognitions.
I just wanted to add, we talked about Sadie and the recognition she got from the chamber. There is another student who also received an honor there. Excuse me, Luke Diljak. And so we'd like to recognize him as well.
All right, thank you for that. Anything else? I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, just real quickly, Sadie referenced prom, but it was a very successful event, so special thanks to Mr. Dusterbeck for all of his work with prom planning and the students that are part of that committee and that effort. I want to recognize all of our students that have been and continue to take AP exams. Really appreciate their commitment to rigor and to extend themselves academically through that opportunity. And then also, kind of in advance, again, something that Sadie referenced, but the Senior Awards and Scholarship Night, that's coming up. So kind of want to pre-congratulate all the students that are going to be recognized at that event. Pretty awesome. And it's always just a great night. So nothing too dramatic to anticipate. It was just good. It's just good. So that's it.
All right, anybody else? All right, so that was good. That was quick. 7 o'clock. Unfortunately, we do have some business in closed session, so I look for somebody to make that motion.
I move that the board recess into closed session per Wisconsin statute 19.85, paren 1, paren C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss specific employees and employee groups, and to discuss negotiation strategy, and pursuant to 19.85, paren 1, paren C, paren F, and paren G, for the purpose of discussing a pending employee complaint and the performance and contract of an individual employee. The board will reconvene into open session for the possible transaction of business and adjournment.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to move into closed session. Mary, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Marcia Ferguson,
Yes.
John Kraus,
Yes.
Greg Coon,
Yes.
Maria Mason,
Yes.
Yes.
Chad Green,
Yes.
Bruce Taylor, John Tydiski,
Yes.
Isaac Northwell.
Yes.
We'll
Congratulations.
be back momentarily.
Nice.
Sounds back on, thank you.
Phone's back on. We got everybody here. All right, so we are back in open session, and we will move forward with 13.1.
All right, we have one retirement on the board agenda. Ken Jacob, custodian from the middle school. He plans to retire in July after 26 years of serving our district. And then there's several resignations on there for your consideration as well.
I move the board approve the retirement and resignations as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the resignations and retirements as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right,
There are 2 leaves of absence that have already come and gone on your agenda tonight.
I move the board approve the leaves of absence as presented.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second to approve the leaves of absence as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. Okay,
For appointments, we have Rachel Carlson, art teacher for the high school. Amber Hop, art teacher for the elementary schools. Elise Kraus, literacy support teacher for the middle school. Richard Lauterbach, physical education teacher for the high school. Ashley Plasek, English language arts teacher for the middle school. And Daniela Tovar, English language learner teacher for the middle school.
I move the board approve the appointments as presented.
Second.
all right, we have a motion and a second to approve the appointments as presented. We'll need a roll call vote, please.
John Kraus,
Yes.
Mary Coons,
Yes.
Maria Mason,
Yes.
Lisa Pansy,
Yes.
Chad Ruby,
Yes.
Gary Spielman.
Yes.
John Tydeski,
Yes.
Isaac Dornfeld,
Yes.
Marge Jorgensen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nicole,
you.
before you run too far, how many appointments do you still have open at this point?
Well, we have 3 special ed vacancies, middle school, high school. We have 4th grade at Jefferson, 5th grade at Wilson, counselor at the high school. I think that rounds it out pretty well.
Okay.
So it's been steady, but kind of filling as they come in too, so that's been good. So,
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
All right, with that, we'll move on to 13.4.
After coming out of closed session, I move to authorize the board president to work with legal counsel and proceed as discussed.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to the motion coming out of closed session. We'll need a roll call vote, please.
Mary Coons,
Yes.
Maria Mason,
Yes.
Lisa Pansy,
Yes.
Chad Ruby,
Yes.
Gary Spielman.
Yes.
Joanne Tydeski,
Yes.
Isaac Dornfeld,
Yes.
Marge Jorgensen,
Yes.
John Kraus.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Marge. 13.5, certification of 2022 graduates.
Well, it is my distinct privilege to recommend that the board certify the 269 students that are listed as prospective graduates for the class of 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to certify the 2022 graduates. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. They are certified. And we got 13.6, board policy updates, first reading.
All right, so for your reading pleasure, in your board packets, you have copies of updated policy 5410, promotion, placement, and retention, as well as policy 5460, graduation requirements. So the board has an opportunity over the next few weeks to go ahead and read through those. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Had some discussion on those in the past through committee conversations regarding some of our efforts supporting students from grade to grade. And those policy updates are reflective of our intended and supported practices that the board has already identified. So we just want to make sure the policies are all lined up. That's it.
All right, so that's the first reading, they'll come back next month.
Yes, sir.
And with that, we'll move on to 14.1, payment of claims.
I move to approve payment of claims in the amount of $3,490,575.05.
Second.
All All right, we have a motion and a second for payment of claims. Roll call vote, please.
Maria Mason,
Yes.
Lisa Panzer,
Yes.
Chad Reed,
Yes.
Gary Spielman,
Yes.
Joanne Chesky,
Yes.
Isaac Dornfeld,
Yes.
Marge Jorgensen,
Yes.
John Kraus,
Yes.
Mary Koontz.
Yes.
All right, and with that, I will look for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign.